In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 114.
14, maybe the most excited I've ever been to do an episode.
Yeah,
I actually I actually put the work into creating some visuals, and for the first time ever, granted we've done 114 now episodes, this is the first time ever we're not really using PowerPoint for any part of this. We're actually using graphic packages, and I'm extremely excited to share them and, you know, see how this all turns out.
yeah, and it's the fun time of the year where we, our March Madness bracket kind of
Yes.
unfolds.
And to those who listen, watch, it occurred to me we didn't really go through this again like we normally do each year. This is our opportunity to throw caution to the wind of everything that the NCAA has put in place in terms of selecting the field of 68 or 64. And this is our opportunity to say, fuck the automatic qualifiers, fuck the conference tournament winners. It's everybody's just one out of 364. And so
Yep.
instead of having a bunch of rules to selecting the field, we just take the power out of our hands completely. We let a wheel do it for us. Um, and so this is kind of our March Madness in the sense of it's utter chaos because there's nobody regulating this.
Yep.
So there we go.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we have our full bracket here.
Including
Um,
basketball and everything, shooting stars.
yeah, so check out the last episode if you missed it, where we had the selection happen. Um,
High
so
standards to a wheel, all that good stuff.
yep.
It's like the Flintstones in real life.
All right, so let's kick it off to the top corner.
Yeah, and by the way, we have four regions here. This one we created these regions admittedly when I was using PowerPoint to do these, and I just needed a way to separate the brackets. So I just recolored them. So we have the grip, fabric,
Yep.
hardwood, and beam regions. Um, just based off of different elements of basketball, like the rim, the floor, the texture of a basketball. But I really just, yeah, decided to stick with the names. And then the cities were chosen based off of US cities of manufacturing prowess for each of the categories. So like in terms of like basketballs where they made like, with most grip, it just ended up being like Spalding in Chicago or something. So like there's no rhyme or reason. And then as we get into further rounds, we'll see from the graphic that I made my own wheel out of the top 100 US metropolitan cities, and that chose hosting cities going forward.
Okay.
So, you know, fun little thing. I think it ended up being that Honolulu is getting the final four. So there we
Amazing.
go.
Amazing.
All right.
All right,
So
so
anyway,
yeah, anyway, we can just do a quick recap, right? So the play-in for this region is on the 16 seed, which is Austin P and Kennesaw.
Yep.
Uh,
Kennesaw
but
State. Yeah.
yeah, so we have Duquesne and the play-in as 1 and 16, and then Duke and Cal State,
Yep. Cal
USC.
State Fullerton at the 9 seed. Um, we have USC in their ultimate Rodman and Bronny James prowess at the 5 seed, going against one of many New Jersey teams in Monmouth at the 12 seed.
Yep.
Um,
Got
we have
Davidson at the
yep,
4 seed and North Texas on 13.
and then Canisius at the 6 seed, Baylor at 11.
Yep.
Bucknell at the 3 with Quinnipiac at the 14, which is a nice little tri-state one for us.
And then Bryant at 7 and Florida State at 10.
And San Diego at 2, New Mexico at 15.
So yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
like
I don't really know what else to say about this. Like, I think our wheel did a good job of mixing the Power Six conferences in here. Um, because granted, when you look at things, the way that real March Madness works is that most automatic or at-large teams come from power schools, but there's far less power schools than there are anybody else.
mhm.
So in ours, it kind of works in reverse in that there's far less to work with for Power Six teams. So anytime you get like you have Duke, you have USC, you have Baylor, Florida State, and New Mexico, like that's a pretty good balance to me. So I mean, we'll see. I'm sure parity comes into play at some point here, but for right now, somewhat reasonable. And you'll see if you watch or listen to this that we have a good amount of should be real tournament teams in here. And we did not um butt into the wheel at all on this. We didn't sacrifice anything. Like we had no part in picking these. So like
Yeah,
if Duquesne makes it, like we obviously will have gotten the seed wrong.
yeah,
But
definitely.
you know, we have some chances to be right here, and that's a fun little side game we like to play too. Is that we're hoping that one of these days the wheel is just going to pick the right team in the right spot, and then we are absolutely going to shove it down everybody's throats.
Yeah, so yeah, again, you can check out the last episode where we had the wheel select all the teams. But yeah, let's get straight into the play-in.
Yeah. All right, Austin P and Kennesaw State. The battle for 16 seeds and the battle for making the round of 64. We're going to see what the wheel selects. Credit also to our second graphics package. So this year we have new wheels, we have brackets, and we have a new lead-in graphics package. Also,
Yep.
we have potentially more coming. So like
Yeah.
this is actually going to be worth posting on YouTube as a video going forward. Um, so yeah, let's see what the wheel has to say.
Yeah, so on to the wheel.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it is Kennesaw
Kennesaw
State.
State. All right, let's see here. Kennesaw State. Out of the Atlantic Sun, they move forward with a 15-16 record on the year. They were 2-1 in neutral site games. I guess we're making it 3-1
Oh
as
yeah.
they move on.
Everybody has won, at least.
All right.
Yeah, so
All right.
Kennesaw State takes your 16 seed in this bracket. Um, they will be facing Duquesne.
Hmm.
Right now, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir. So we're going to see how long everything holds up.
right. So you'll notice here we just have all the possible teams. Right now we're on our
I'm not making multiple wheels for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I already made 20.
Yep. All right. So, without further ado, the 1 in 16, is the wheel benevolent, or does the wheel take it away?
Oh, and
Oh, it has
a
benevolence.
1 seed prevails.
Yeah, the one
All
seed
right.
prevails.
Duquesne still alive in real life, still
Yep.
alive in our tournament. They are 20-11. They are 3-1 on the neutral floor, and they are representing the Atlantic 10 Conference. Which, fun fact, in real life, 2 days ago, they had, I think, 3 of their top 4 seeds in the Atlantic 10 tournament still standing, and they all lost in the same day. And I think the top seed still left in their conference tournament is the 5th seed. So,
Amazing.
and Duquesne is the 6th seed, so maybe we're onto something.
Maybe. All right. So yeah, they are the first team to move on to the round of 32. And so we're on to Duke and Cal State Fullerton.
Yes, Duke of great fame for having lost to NC State 2 days ago. NC State also on the bubble in real life.
Yep.
So let's see. Does Duke have it in them to bounce back?
I don't think so.
It doesn't look like it. It's going to be Cal
Cal State.
State Fullerton.
Yeah.
Out of the Big West, Cal State Fullerton 14-16 on the year, 1-1, make it 2-1 on neutral site, and they are going to advance and take on Duquesne
Yeah. So they get to take on Duquesne on to our 5 and
in the
12.
tragedy. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the tragedy that ensues that we do not have a Duke versus Duquesne, and also Duquesne's team name, the Dukes.
Yeah.
So the tragedy that we don't have a Dukes versus Duke, you know,
Duquesne Dukes versus
the
Duke.
wheel sometimes writes its own comedy. The wheel sometimes takes it away. So
Yeah. Yeah. It gave us false hope, you know? All right.
it did. Well, the wheel will never give us Chicago State kind of fun again.
No. All right. Anyway, yeah. So we got the 5-12, USC and Monmouth.
All right. Will it be LeBron James's offspring or will it be the pride of New Jersey? As if there is any. All right.
Well,
It's going to be Monmouth.
it's now
All
the
right.
pride of New Jersey.
Yeah. The pride of what I think is New Jersey. All right. Out of the Coastal Athletic Conference, they are 17-14 on the year. They have won all 3 of their games on the neutral site courts after this one, and they advance to take on the winner of Davidson in North Texas.
Yeah.
So will it be the Wildcats or will it be the Mean Green?
Well, we don't have to wait long to find out.
Oh,
It
oh,
is
Davidson.
Davidson.
Steph Curry's school because nobody can talk about Davidson without saying Steph Curry. Um, that's just how the world works.
Yep.
So yeah, Davidson, our second team out of the Atlantic 10 Conference to move on to the round of 32 in this region.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're going to be 3-1 neutral site. Not intimidated by anything, despite that 15-15 record coming into March Madness. So Davidson will advance.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what to make of this. We have some some parity here now. We have a 9 seed advance, which statistically speaking, is an often happening tournament upset. But we also have a 12 seed.
Uh-huh.
We almost had a 13 seed. So we'll see if this trend continues.
Yeah. On to the bottom half of the bracket, where we have Canisius
Canisius,
and Baylor.
Baylor, will Baylor bail on the bracket, or will it be Canisius? No work play joke required because I can't think of anything that rhymes with Canisius. At least not appropriate for the
It
word.
is Canisius.
Canisius. Yeah, out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic, Canisius improves to 3-1 neutral site. Uh, Despite their 12-16 record, they move on with a win in the round of 64.
Yeah, and we'll see who they're facing in the Bucknell versus Quinnipiac matchup.
Quinnipiac,
Quinnipiac. Yeah,
you're
I'm
getting there.
sorry.
It's almost like it's a New York school.
Hey, you know my pronunciations are just bad, and I get to have to pronounce that one
You met
again.
you met somebody when I was in town whose brother went to Quinnipiac. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
All right. So it's
Well,
gonna be the 14th seed. It's gonna be Quinnipiac. So the wheel punishes Sean for not understanding a state's pronunciation or a school's name in his own state in which he resides. So the wheel's gonna make him learn because public school education is failing us. The irony here being that Quinnipiac may or may not be a public school. Um, so we have our second school out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Association conference of wow, that conference is way too long. Um,
They're the
First
second
neutral
Mac.
site game, but they were the number one team by record coming out of the MAAC, and they may be alive in real life. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to check on that. But Quinnipiac may be one of our teams here that has a chance of making the actual dance too.
All right, yeah. And on to our 7-10 matchup, Bryant and Florida State. There are two schools that I really can't mess up.
I really hope so. Oh, Quinnipiac lost last night to
Uh,
St. Peter's,
okay.
ironically enough.
Okay. All right, not alive. All right, well.
All right. Breaking news, not alive.
Oh, all right.
Well,
Well, out of our 7-10 matchup, the 7 seed.
all right, it's going to be the Bryant Bulldogs. Bryant is our team out of the America East Conference. They are 19-12 overall, third best for the America East, even though we somehow in our overall round of 64 drafted all top three teams for the America East. Um,
Amazing.
Bryant comes in at number 3, and they improve to 2-0 in a neutral site.
All right, and to round out this quarter of the bracket, we have San Diego and New Mexico, our 2-15 matchup.
Don't you dare confuse them with San Diego State.
Yep, not the same. Well, we'll get to San Diego State later, but oh, the wheel is
The wheel is not just.
no.
All right. Also, we have currently going on a game between Vermont and UMass Lowell. So, I mean, we have to get back to this. We drafted top 3 America East teams. We should be, in theory, safe for one of them to make the tournament.
Yeah,
The wheel did us good here. They gave us a numbers game.
yeah.
All right. All right, we're going anyway with the 15 seed. The Power Six is represented well now. New Mexico is moving on out of the Mountain West Conference. There's a chance that they get 6 teams in the actual tournament this year. New Mexico is going to improve to 5-0 in neutral site games, and I'm not counting conference tournament. This is also a little bit of a disclaimer for those listening, watching. I exported all the standings in the final week after all the regular season games ended for mid majors. And so if say for instance New Mexico in the Mountain West tournament has already won 3 games on a neutral site, I don't know. So we're just going to go off of what the document says. It's a little outdated, but I don't have a computer that can do all this work for me. So you're just going to have to learn to deal with it.
All
Anyway,
right, so
New
yeah.
Mexico 22-8. they're probably getting into the tournament as is, although they might be on the bubble. Um, they move to 5-0 on neutral site, and they move on to the round of 32, where they're going to take part in a face-off against Bryant.
Yeah, so just to wrap up, we have Duquesne, Cal State Fullerton, Monmouth,
Davidson,
Davidson, Canisius,
Quinnipiac,
Quinnipiac,
Bryant,
Bryant, and
and
New
New
Mexico
Mexico.
as our.
And you know what? I'll be a nice guy as a message to anyone listening, watching. I'll have updated standings for next one, which will be my last attempt at it because Selection Sunday will have happened. There shouldn't be any need to
Oh,
export more than twice.
yep. Yeah.
And
So on to the next part of the bracket. So we'll be going to we will find out
we're gonna go to Philly on this one.
the hardwood region that we
Yes.
have.
Oh yeah. Philly, known makers of wood.
Okay, yeah, we'll
I
we'll
mean,
just go with that.
Sean, we're from Central New Jersey. People talk about Philadelphia for their wood all the time, right?
Amazing. All
There's
right.
so many different things that could be taken from what I just said, and I
Yeah.
feel like all of them are not the good option.
No. All right. Well, yeah. Anyway, so in this bracket, we have the 11 seed as a play, and even though I think on the real one it's the 12, but
Yes, probably. It used to be, we're going off of like 2016 rules where like for the longest time when they expanded to
68.
um yeah, when they expanded to 68, it was the 11 seed and the 16 seed. So now like I just didn't feel like reading, and admittedly didn't like. I just assumed it was 11s, so we're gonna operate under 11 and 16.
Yeah.
And if an 11 wins and a 12 wins, then everybody's happy. So we're all just gonna root for underdogs, and then we can all be happy together.
Yeah, so on to our play-in matchup of this one.
Wyoming and Wake Forest. Will it be the mid-major Wyoming, or will it be the smallest Power Six school in the country of Wake Forest? Which, Sean, do you know how many undergrads are at Wake Forest?
No.
It's under 5,000.
Amazing.
Like, I don't understand how they have a D1 football and basketball program in the ACC.
They do. All right. Whoa.
They do.
On to who is going to come out of the play-in.
I hope it's me this time.
It is Wake Forest.
All right. Well, they got bumped off the bubble by Pitt in real life, but I guess in this universe, they are they're good enough to keep going. This will be interesting because like before Pitt beat Wake Forest, they were on the bubble and were projected to be right in the spot that the wheel put them in, which would have been a play in 11. So we'll see. This is kind of like a coming of fruition to what Wake Forest probably should have been.
Yeah,
If it
fair.
wasn't for those stupid Pennsylvania schools in between them. And the fact that every time they play Pitt in football or basketball with their season on the line, they just crumble. Anyway,
Yeah, so just to recap, right? We have UC Davis, Temple, Alcorn State, Akron, Seton Hall, and Virginia, Pepperdine and Seattle as the top half of this bracket, and then Vermont and Wake Forest out of the play-in to start off the lower half. Then Xavier, New Orleans, Middle Tennessee State, and Rider, Eastern Illinois, and Iowa State as the matchups in this quadrant.
if you have a second for a question here, I'm curious on something. One more thing about Wake Forest. You think during COVID, when like all the classes went to online, that their enrollment actually went up?
Man, I mean, it could have, but
Like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we don't have to worry about resources for the next few years. We're just gonna let everybody transfer in,
Yeah, I don't think it was
and all of a
everybody.
sudden, well, I'm in the sense of like they have like 5,000 students, but I just saw in 2021 they had like 8,700.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know. I'm curious. Anyway,
All right, on to the actual matchup. So we're starting with 116 here, UC Davis and
UC Davis, another school that we
Temple.
have on our bracket that could make some noise in real life. They will not be a one seed in real life,
No, definitely
but
not.
they beat Hawaii last night. So they're playing for a championship today. Will it be UC Davis? And it turns out that old friend went.
Oh,
All right.
16.
The 16 seed is going to prevail in a very tight matchup. Temple moves on, and Temple is coming out of the same conference as North Texas. They're coming out of the American Athletic Conference. Temple is the first school where the little bit of parity comes in, not necessarily just based on seeding, but also in the sense that they were 4-12 in conference. They were 11-18 on the year, and they were 2-3 on neutral site, but they move up to 3-3 now.
Yeah, dang. So they go 500 on neutral site now with this.
Yes, the question now remains, will they be playing somebody from the MAC or will they be playing somebody from an HBCU in Alcorn State? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out right now actually. And it is the
It's going to
9
be
seed.
Maction. It's going to be Maction. Akron is moving on.
Yep.
Akron, the best team by record in the MAC, was 21-9. They were 13-1 at home. They were 1-3 in neutral site games. That didn't matter here. They move up to the round of 32.
Yep. And then we come to another Jersey school. Like we have a bunch of those this year.
Also, Akron playing potentially for a championship today, I think.
Hmm, nice.
So, is it? Yeah. Akron's playing for a championship tonight at 7:30 on ESPN2, the same network that's hemorrhaging money because they're paying Pat McAfee.
Yeah, anyway, on to the regardless of ESPN struggles, on
It gives me
to
a lot of
our
joy.
5-12 matchup, Seton Hall and Virginia.
All right. Will it be the Big East or will it be the ACC? It's going to be the ACC.
Gonna be the
Virginia, a bubble
ACC.
team in real life. They're not going to get a 12 seed in real life if they make the tournament, but they're really on the cusp right now, and they just lost to NC State last night, which really hurt their chances. But they are in bubble worthy spot here, but they somehow survive in advance.
Yeah.
Virginia is going to be out of the ACC. They're going to be 21-10 overall. They're going to be 3-1 in neutral site games.
Okay.
That's good enough for third in the ACC, unfortunately.
Yeah, so on to our next matchup, which is Pepperdine and Seattle.
All the old heads. I remember when the ACC used to send 10 schools. Well, they barely fucking have 10 schools now. Conferences don't mean anything anymore.
And
The
it
portal took
is
all the quality.
Pepperdine.
Pepperdine, out of the same conference that Pearl State School. All right, the West Coast Conference. Pepperdine is 13-19 on the year. They are moved to 2-3 on the neutral site. Yeah, Pepperdine. I don't know. The, like We have so many schools now in this conference. That's insane.
All right,
All right.
well,
Anyway,
on to
Pepperdine.
Vermont and Wake Forest from the play-in.
All right. Will it be Vermont? Will it be Wake Forest? Will it be the American East again?
It is the 6th seed, Vermont.
All right. It's going to be Vermont, and I was prepared for that. Vermont is a staggering 25-6 on the year. They were 15-1 in conference. They came through 3-1 in tournament style neutral site games.
Okay, and on to Xavier and Norland.
This is going to be great because both of these teams are sub 500.
Yeah, I know. Oh, oh well.
The best thing about the wheel is when it starts picking teams with single digit wins,
Yeah, well, it's New Orleans that it picked today.
and it chooses again a single digit win team. New Orleans is, geez, I was so enamored in those single digits, I forgot that New Orleans is out of the Southland Conference. They were 9-22.
Yep.
A nice solid round number of 9.
Uh-huh.
Um, they were on 1 in neutral site games, and they, despite literally everything saying otherwise, advanced.
Yep. All right, on
Like the
to
fact that they had a 4-point loss per game average. I'm sorry,
only
6
4.
points. 6.
Oh,
I did the math wrong.
amazing. Um,
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah. On to the 7 and 10 matchup: Middle Tennessee State and Ryder. Another New Jersey.
Another prestigious New Jersey dumpster fire.
Well, that prestigious New Jersey dumpster fire advances.
All right, here we go. Ryder it is. Ryder is coming out of the MAAC MAC. They are 14-16 on the year. They were 6-12 in away games. They've never played a neutral site game this
Well,
season.
they won one.
They won 1 here. Maybe it's enough to get their points per game to outscore their opponent's point per game. This was the team that we laughed about for having a .1 differential.
Right.
And you have to think with a tournament win, it's at least even now.
Yeah, at least. All right, on to the last team selected here: Eastern Illinois and Iowa State.
All right, see, probably going to see Iowa State in the real tournaments. We're probably not going to see Eastern Illinois, but we're going to see Iowa State keep moving forward. Our 6 well represented again, moving forward into the second round of this tournament. Out of the Big 12, they're the number 2 team on the regular season. They're 24-6. They were 1-2 on neutral site games that are going to increase that up to 2-2. They have a nice, scoring differential to boast about. They win their game by about 4 or 3 points per game, and it's hard for us to be somebody who believes that that's going to be the case here against a 10 seed. I guess stranger things happen.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, on to the second half of the bracket where the play-in is again on the 16 seed. And this time the play-in is San Diego State, which we didn't want to get confused about
Hofstra.
before, and Hofstra.
I'm still confused. Can we do a down? I'll make graphics. We can look at enrollment. We can look at average GPA between San Diego and San. Let's just skip the sports. Let's just do college comparisons from now on.
All right.
It seems like something that'll substantially grow our single-handed audience.
And you heard it here first, apparently. We're just doing college comparisons after this.
I'd like to see the Ken Palm rating, not only for basketball, but for SAT scores among admitted incoming freshmen.
All right, yeah. So on to the
Scrap
play-in.
the bracket. We're done with the bracket. No, I'm kidding.
On to the play-in
All right.
matchup. Like we were saying, San Diego State and Hofstra.
Will be San Diego State. Will be the school that I left to pursue anything better than Hofstra. We'll find out momentarily.
Momentarily, as in right now.
Oh. It's close, and it's going to be San Diego State. Hofstra again loses in a very tough game with something on the line, as they do in their conference tournament once they reach the semifinals or finals every year.
Yeah,
All right,
so
San Diego. They're out of the out of the West Coast Conference. School that they get that fake thing every now and then. They're 17 and 14 this year. 1-1 in neutral site games. That's gonna go up to 2-1. Despite their margin being -5, they're gonna find a way to outscore one of the nation's most prolific ones in Tyler Thompson. San Diego moves on.
yeah,
I'm
so
sorry, I'm looking at San Diego, not San Diego State. God damn it, Sean. You said San Diego.
no, I said don't get confused with San Diego
No, but what did you say after you spun the wheel? Was it San Diego?
State.
It's fine. It's fine. I can handle the humiliation. All right. San Diego State's out of the Mountain West Conference. They're 22-8 and 3-0 up to 4-0 neutral site games. They have about a 10-point win on average, so I imagine that would hold true against Hofstra.
All right. All right. Anyway, so we'll see if they even make it one step further because they are the
No,
first
I don't want them to. No
selection
more
here.
San Diego. We're
One.
lucky we don't have UC San Diego in this bracket too. I swear this was the most confusing thing that you could have ever done to me. I'll never forgive you.
You know, you did this to yourself, but
I know.
anyway, they're out. So,
All right. Yeah. Hey, I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. George Mason it is. All right, George Mason. I'm typing with one hand, so I'm going to take longer. All right, George Mason is another team out of the Atlantic 10, which I think brings us up to 3 or 4 so far. They were 19 and 11 on the year. They were 1-1 on neutral site games. They're up to 2-1. They do average a win, so good on them. It's about a 5-point win, maybe 6 points. So they move on. George Mason
okay.
dancing again,
And
just like they
then
did back in the 2000s.
and then we get to your absolute favorite team's
Oh,
matchup,
speaking of
Gonzaga
fake
and
schools,
Iowa.
I mean, we have a guy who used to coach at UNCG against the fakest school of all time. It's only right that the wheel justifies itself. It's Iowa in the 9 seed. They were given a bye this game in reality because Gonzaga doesn't exist. So I guess they just scrimmaged against, I don't know, maybe Hofstra showed up. Like, hey, we really thought we were going to win this one. So we're here anyway. We're at a Marriott Bonvoy. All right. It's going to be Iowa. It's not going to be pretty. I can tell you that right now. It's out of the Big Ten. They are 18 and 13. Iowa was 2-1 on the neutral site. That's going to go up to 3-1. They had given up only 79 a game to their 84 scored a game. And it looks like that carried true as this proceeds forward in the bracket.
All right, and we move on to the 5 and 12 matchup, contrary to what the graphic shows,
I don't know what happened there.
which is
God damn
Utah
it. I spent
Valley and
days
Notre
on this
Dame.
shit. It's not Notre Dame.
It's not.
No, the graphic
Oh,
slide.
oh,
It's
graphic
supposed to be
slide.
a 12 seed.
Who's the 12 seed?
I gotta find the slide. Gotta find the slide. Shit on me. Bum
It's
shit's on me. It's going to be Air Force, which I
Air
know I.
Force.
Oh no 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 no
No,
no no
Air
no
Force is
no.
11.
Uh, um, it's Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I will
Okay.
make that corrected, and my apologies to the people of Buffalo, aside from Bills fans, because fuck Josh Allen. All right, Buffalo is the real 12 seed here. Um, I'll
Will
have to
they
fix that.
win? For your mistake, they deserve a win, right? According to the wheel.
They do, and it's going to be Buffalo. Um, because the wheel's going to punish me and say, if you don't know how to work the graphics flawlessly, and granted, this is the first week I've ever spent in the software. There's a chance I don't know how to do this, and I'll have to recorrect the whole file, and I'll have to live with it because it's Buffalo, the 12 seed moving on. Buffalo was 0-3 in neutral site games. They are the worst team, I think, in the tournament at 4-26, and they're
Hey.
moving on.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, on to Grand Canyon and LaSalle.
Indeed.
And I pronounced that one correctly. I'm surprised.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
definitely not LaSalle.
Oh, it's LaSalle.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anyway, they don't deserve a
You
win.
can tell that
I'm
Sean
not
is not
punished.
somebody who's put on like Selection Sunday and then just tuned everything else out.
I'm not punished because Grand Canyon wins. So
Okay.
the wheel is benevolent to me.
I love how you say words like benevolent, but you can't get LaSalle. All right, out of the Western Athletic Conference, the Grand Canyon Antelopes might actually be making the tournament for real. Um, they're 26-4 on the season. They're 3-1 in neutral site games, and I don't see any reason why it would stop now. So, let's just take a quick look here at the WAC tournament. Grand Canyon and UT Arlington, another one of our teams, are playing for a championship tonight, Sean.
Oh, dang. Okay.
All right. Looks like we have 100% chance of a somewhat winner.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, on to actual Notre Dame and actually Air Force.
I can't believe there's a school called Tarleton State. That
All
needs to, like rename itself immediately.
right. Anyway, on to Notre Dame and Air Force.
Notre Dame, a logo so ugly it showed up in the graphic twice, and we'll have to see it again
Yep.
because Notre Dame is moving on. Um, Congrats to them for making me despise them for all these years, and I hope that their football program dies in a cliffhanger. Um, Not of anything bad, but let me clarify. I don't want the players to die. I want the program to die. So, if it could just be like the athletic director was found, stealing billions of dollars from like a Chase bank, that would be great. Anyway, Notre Dame, they're out of the ACC, 1-1 in neutral site games, despite a horrible 12-19 record on the year. Um, they don't average a win, and I anticipate that that's not going to last much longer.
Okay. Okay.
Also, uh, I have to throw it out there. I think at some point I sprayed Lysol in this microphone because holding it to my face, I can smell lots of flowers.
I don't want to know what you're doing with that microphone, bro.
I haven't used this microphone in a long time. For those of you listening, I swapped out microphones in the middle of this, and this microphone smells like lavender, and it is overpowering.
I don't want to know. All right, Texas A&M and Columbia people. Let's just go. Uh, yeah. All right. So we have Columbia, an Ivy League, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, sure, something like that. They say Ivy League. I say I don't give a shit. All
Anyway,
right. Columbia out of the Ivy League. They have no experience in neutral site games because New York doesn't have a lot of sports venues apparently. Um they're 13-13 on the year. And also fun fact, I believe it's true. Ivy League doesn't give away athletic scholarships, and that's how you end up with a 13-13 team.
hey, I mean it's better than a 6 and
Also, how
26 or
you end up
whatever.
with not having any neutral site games because it's fairly easy to get neutral site games with all those November tournaments.
Uh,
So like they just are not pumping money into their athletics at all.
okay.
Anyway,
All right, on to our 7 and 10, Dayton and Clemson.
dear God, I hope it's Dayton. Dayton actually might end up being a 7 seed now that they didn't win their conference tournament. It
Oh.
could fall that way.
Well, the wheel taketh away.
All right. Well, Clemson was on the bubble, but then all the Wake Forest, Pitt, Virginia, and NC State, and literally anybody else in the ACC thing happened. So I'm not sure if Clemson's going to make it. Um, they could, and if they do, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in a 10 seed. They're 3-0 in neutral site. That's going to bump up to 4-0 with this win. They were 21-9 on the year.
Yep.
So Clemson might be one of those teams. Clemson and Dayton, I'm looking at those two spots as potential anomalies that the wheel gets right.
All right, yeah. And the last match of this quadrant, Hampton and
Come on, Sean.
Pacific?
Like the ocean, the
Yes,
Pacific.
I know. I just wanted to, scare you a little bit.
No, 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 I don't buy that. I
Yeah.
don't buy that.
Anyway, let's just keep
It
going.
was a specific ocean.
Anyway, we got Hampton out of
All
here.
right. Hampton it is. Hampton's out of the Coastal Athletic Conference. They were 1-12 in away games this year, but 2-2 in neutral site games, 8-23 overall. Makes perfect sense to say that they're moving on. And also, again, we had another single digit win,
Team.
battle there. So
Yep. All right, so we are through with 3/4 of the bracket. Only one quadrant left where the play-in will be in the 11 seed for us.
this microphone, I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's the pop filter or the actual microphone, but like, I mean, it could smell a lot worse, but like, as somebody who gets headaches relatively easily, like, this is not a good start.
Anyway, so yeah, here we have starting with the play-in, UIC and Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah. Two logos that resemble just italicized fonts.
Yup.
And the wheel put them together so that they could spread love to each other. All
Yeah.
right. Will it be UIC? Will it be Ole Miss? Will it be straight typeface? It probably won't be.
Yeah, that one can't win here.
All right, it's going to be UIC, so we're going to continue asking what does UIC mean. Um and you know what? My ode to the people, if they get far enough in the tournament, I'll look up what UIC stands for.
All
Out
right,
of the
anyway.
Missouri Valley Conference, they are 11-20 overall, but 2-1 in neutral site games, and they're holding on to just the slightest of not winning margins, giving up 71 and a tenth while scoring 70.6.
Okay. So yeah, in this quadrant we have UTSA and Louisiana Tech, Penn and Bethune Cookman. I might have butchered that.
Oh no. You know what? I've never seen them in the tournament, Sean. So we can both assume that that's right.
South Alabama and Southeast Louisiana. American and UMass Lowell, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Actually, no, South Alabama and graphic is wrong, so I don't know who's
I
in the
hate.
12th.
All right, you know what? I'm reaching out to the distributor. Um, South Alabama is going to play against Buffalo. No, not Buffalo.
Nope.
It's going to be Oklahoma State.
Okay. Oklahoma
All right,
State.
my ode again. Apologies to our graphics team, me, for this. So we'll get it corrected.
Yeah, American and UMass Lowell, we said, and now Southeast Louisiana and UIC. UT Arlington, which you also mentioned earlier, and Brown. Furman and Tulsa, and lastly, Iona and Towson?
Yes,
Towson?
Towson.
Towson. I got it right first time.
Yes, you did. We'll edit out the second time.
Alright. Anyway, on to the first matchup, which is the 1 and 16 seed. Which the wheel
UTSA.
gives us UTSA.
University of Texas at San Antonio. The Roadrunners are 11 and 19 on the year out of the American Athletic Conference. That's not normally where you put Texas teams, but okay. No neutral site games to speak of until today, where they go 1-0.
Yep. Alright, on to the 8-9, which is Penn and Bethune Cookman.
Oh, I love Penn and Teller.
Uh,
I went to college somewhere else.
anyway, Penn makes it out.
All right, I get to make that shitty joke for the rest of the fucking tournament. All right, our second Ivy League school, Penn, was 2 and 10 in away games, 0 and 2 on neutral site games. They do average a win, but a very close one. They were 11 and 17 on the year despite averaging a win. What? All right.
Alright, anyway,
Take that
on to
one,
the
Ivy League professor, and
5 and
go
12
ahead.
matchup. South Alabama and you'd have to give me the 12th team again.
It was Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Well, do
I
they
bet if
make
you
it?
took I bet if you took Penn's, statistics to an Ivy League professor, he'd quit and like give up his tenure.
Alright, so Oklahoma State wins.
All right, so the good thing about the wheel is it's humbled me here. It said both times that you put the wrong thing in, I'm gonna make you have to fix it. You can't just sit on your laurels and be like, well, they'll never see it again. We'll just zoom into the round of 32 graphic the next time. We're gonna have to make some changes here.
Yep.
Oklahoma State's out of the Big 12. They're on a down year, 12 and 18 overall, 1 and 2 on neutral site games. They, I mean, average of 1 point loss, but like 4 and 13 in conference, they might as well not have. I don't know.
Alright, on to the 4 and 13 seed. I know Americans on the 4 seed. I believe UMass Lowell is the 13.
I have a belief. It's UMass Lowell.
I believe you're
In a
correct.
tough one. In a very tough one. But UMass Lowell are I think we go 3-0 here. We do. Our America East teams go 3-0. Vermont, UMass Lowell, and Bryant all move on.
Oh, amazing.
So I don't know. If one of these teams is actually Cinderella capable,
Yeah. Alright, and we
are
have
we wizards then?
maybe. Anyway, we have Southeast Louisiana and UIC for the 6 and 11 matchup. And the wheel says that UIC makes it.
UIC. I'm not gonna go through their stats again.
Nope.
No need.
Yeah. And on to the 3 and
Sorry to
4.
Southeastern Louisiana, but at least you got your logo in there twice.
Yeah. Yeah. And on to the 3 and 14. UT Arlington and Brown.
What can Brown do for you? Ivy League School Edition.
Apparently it's not win.
All right. Well, we kind of knew that when we found out the myth that we have not yet debunked of no athletic scholarships.
Uh,
Um, Another team out of the Western Athletic Conference. They're alive today playing for their lives, but in the fictitious world, they've already won that battle and then some.
yep.
They were 1-0 in neutral site games, make that 2-0, double it up, and they move forward,
Yeah. All
play
right.
against UIC.
Yeah. And on to the 7-10 matchup, Furman and Tulsa.
It's not a big Furman guy. We go through this because they made the tournament last year.
Yep. And well, Tulsa makes it.
All right, I can live with that. Also, Tulsa, low key, nice logo.
Yeah. And the last matchup of the round of 64 for our bracket, Iona and Towson.
All right, Iona in Towson.
Who's the last winner? We'll see.
It's
It,
Sean. The winner is Sean.
it is
Gonna be
Iona.
no more Rick Pitino, no more problem. Iona moves on. The Gales out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic were 14 and 15 this year. They were 1 and 3 on neutral site, but despite still having a losing record in neutral site games, they move forward. The 2 seed survives, and that'll wrap up the first round. Yeah, I think the big thing here, the America East, 3-0. We have a handful of teams here that like logistically, or I'm sorry, not logistically, but logically could end up in these spots
Yeah.
that the wheel chose. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
so
What do you think, Sean?
I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised at how at least plausible some of the wheel selections are. It's never
Yeah.
been like
I
this.
mean, at the end of the day, Buffalo is going to win this whole thing, being 4 and 26. But
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, so we will come back with the round of 32 updated and some new fancy
graphics
things to
correct.
yeah, new fancy things to show. Um
Yeah, we got a lot more in the pipeline. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Learning this new software, we're gonna have a lot more coming soon.
yeah, so thanks for tuning in and we'll catch you next time.